Hi kids, today we're going to do a lesson 45. We're going to do this thing called the Remainder Theorem. So just to start us off, let's have the teacher pause the video here and students just write down the title, this Day 45 and the Remainder Theorem. About 30 seconds. Let's pause the video here please. Alright, so the Remainder Theorem, we hear the word remainder whenever we divide. And so the remainder theorem states that if we have like any remainder after a division problem, that the original divisor is not a factor. What does that mean? Well, let's just say I was working with this number 25 and someone was asking me, is 4 a remainder, or is 4 a factor, or is 5 a factor? Now I know you all know that it's 5, right? But how do we know that? Well, we do a division problem. So if I did a division problem with 4, I asked myself, how many times does 4 go into 25? 6 times, right? 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract and we get a remainder of 1, right? So 4 is technically not a factor because I know that 6 times 4 is actually equal to 24 and not 25. Therefore 4 is not a factor, right? And we look at that by looking at the remainder. Our remainder here has a 1 in it. It's not 0, so I know that 4 is not a factor. Now let's say we did it on 25, the same process. Let's say we didn't know 5 was a factor. We go 25 divided by 5. Well, 5 goes into this perfectly. 5 times 5 is 25. And our remainder is 0. And I check and I think, okay, is 5 times 5 really 25? And I do a problem multiplying it back out and I get the original problem. So instead of doing that extra work, I could just look at the remainder here and I see, oh, it's 0. So yes, this is definitely a factor, okay? So that's what we're saying. Is 5 a factor? Yes, it is, because there's no remainder. Alright? Let's have kids write down the steps here. Let's have the teacher please pause the video here. Okay, so students should have written this down. Let's do a couple of these, okay? So I know you're probably freaking out right now. Don't freak out. But just, we're going to use synthetic division, okay? So from a few days ago, same idea. I won't teach you how to do synthetic division. We're just going to do the division problem using synthetic division, okay? Ready? So, I notice that this has a long polynomial, and we are dividing by this, and look at my leading coefficient, it's 1 here. And look at my directions, it just says state if the given binomial is a factor of the polynomial. Yes or no? Okay, so here we go. So I would do my long division problem, just like I did a few days ago. Right? I know that my A is 5, so I put that there. And I'm going to work this out. I'm not going to explain it because I know you all know how to do this. So as I work this out, I'm noticing, okay, I'm getting all my numbers down, and then hey, look at that, I got a remainder of 0. The remainder theorem says if there's a remainder of 0, that this is a factor. So is b minus 5 a factor? I'll use a different color, it's kind of hard to see. Yes, b minus 5 is a factor, so we'd write yes. That's all we'd write, okay? Because if we were to multiply this back in to the final answer, we would get the original problem. Okay, that's all we're doing today. So again, what did I do? The direction state if the given binomial is a factor of the polynomial. This is a yes or no question. Okay, so here's the divisor. Is this a factor? Well, we'd use synthetic division. Then after we're all done, we check our remainder. Is the remainder 0? Yes, it is. Therefore, yes, this is a factor. That's all you're doing today. Cupcakes, right? Alright, number 2. Here we go again. Number 2, I see a whole polynomial divided by a binomial. Okay, so I'm going to do synthetic division like I did last time. And I'm doing it in descending order. I notice that my divisor is backwards, so I'm going to, instead of write b plus 2, and then I notice that the a is negative 2 here. Bring down the rest of the problem. And then I'm checking to see my work, and I get a remainder of 8. Well, that means there's going to be a remainder here, right? Just like 25 divided by 4 is 6, and there's a remainder. Over here we have an answer, but then we also have a remainder. So we would say no. That's it. Easy, right? Let's have the teacher pause the video here, and let's have students write this down. Okay, so this is what I'd like you to do today, real quick, is 2 problems. That's all you got to do, really quick. So let's have the teacher pause the video here in a moment, and what students are going to do, you're going to work these out in your groups. It should take you like 4 minutes at most. Okay? Say yes or no, and then I'm going to show you the answers. So let's pause the video here, please. Okay, students should have worked this out with their groups. Here we go. Check your answers. First one is no. Second one is yes. Alright? I'm hoping you got this. So, I added another AM today, so make sure you check that out. So now you have 2 AMs. And just keep up with your AMs and AM 2.0s. Remember, these AMs really do help your grades. So let's say you have a C average on your tests. These AMs could shoot you up to a B. So definitely worth doing, okay? That's it. Thank you, kids. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.